Morning everybody, how we doing? Can you hear me? Everything should be working fine. So I do need to switch my speakers on. So that is the lick of the day today. I mean, my hands are freezing, I can hardly move them. But I thought this was interesting. I was just digging through, because I did the whole Greg Howe book, right, which I think is wonderful. And I got to the end solo, which obviously I'm not going to learn. But there was one lick that I was really interested in. And it was just basically something, I mean, like everything's in A Dorian. So we're thinking E minor. So it's just something I adapted to be able to play like actually over Aeolian mode, over just a regular minor scale, because one of the problems we've got with the minor scale is the minor sixth, as we know, which can sound a little bit dissonant. So what I tend to do is I'll just move that minor sixth to somewhere else, and it usually ends up, if it's a scalic type lick, it'll end up just a brief pentatonic moment, and it works out really good in most cases. So like normally you would have something that would be that kind of thing, but in this case, instead of doing that, we just make it E minor pentatonic. And then the rest of it's just a simple pattern. So the way I think of this, right, harmonically speaking, it's a G, it's basically G major. It's G major 7. So what you're doing there is just major third stacked up in fourths, and then you shift an octave. So that bit's kind of easy to remember, and then what you do is that you just fill the middle of this in with the notes from the scale. So you get like a 9. So you'll get like a 9th. What's that going to be? The 7th. I can't work it out. I'm doing G. Oh, sorry, 5th. 5th, 6th, so it's like a 13. So there's a nice little... a nice little sort of like arpeggio move you can do to sort of to traverse the neck, so to speak. So that was kind of the idea that I had, just linking a few of the like existing ideas together. So we've got the pentatonic, and then we are it's just fitting it into your existing playing, isn't it? That's the key. Fitting it in there. So I've installed it into the regular key of E minor, but actually that, it's it's like one of those shapes that gets overlooked, I think. But those like that kind of way of extending arpeggios is super handy, really. Especially that one. Cooler. What program makes these thumbnails? It's not a program I make. It's actually Chat GPT. So I just import a picture of. Well, no, I made a background separate ages ago, which is that kind of vaporwave temple. So there was like a lot of prompting that went on to kind of get that, and then and then what I did is I had to get Canva, so I have Canva, and then I kind of put me on it, and then it went into Chat, and I got Chat to add some text. So Chat's only done the text and a few colour changes on the top. So Canva and Chat GPT. I hate making thumbnails. I just, it bores me to death. It's like a task I do, and I'll do it. But all the time I'm doing it, like, even though it can be fun, I'm like, I can be doing something else. I don't want these skills. Hi Trump, how are you doing? See how that new lick works out. Thank you, Trump. Yeah, we're jamming. So please subscribe. Like. Wow, that went quick. Hi Donald! Hi Jungle! Junico, I should say. Has anybody got any questions, music stuff, guitar things? Put them in the chat. Hi Sean, if I haven't said hi before. Thanks, Collector. I think I'm about done for that one. I think, you know what it is, addressing the elephant in the room, because I like this exposure to you know what I was talking about in A Game of Music, Chapter 8, violinist, hands that are shaking, and it's because she's hiding the shaking hands that makes the shaking worse. So Barry, the author, at this masterclass with a shaking violinist, just says, show your hands to the audience. And she volunteered for it, so she did that, and the shaking stopped, and she was all right. And the psychology behind that is she didn't have anything to hide, right? So because there was nothing to hide, it totally sorted her out, which I think is fascinating. And we can all use that to our advantage to a certain degree. So I think with one thing that bothers me is, and it sounds serious but it's not this, the one thing that really bothers me are those Tim Miller 212 arpeggios, because they're absolutely a wonderful idea, right? Yet I dread playing them, and it's to do with right hand confusion when I'm coming out of licks. Allow me to demonstrate. So there's one I'm doing at the minute which isn't too much of a bother. You might watch this move. So I do that quite a bit. And what that is, it's just basically a pentatonic scale in 2-1-2, but going this way, and it repeats on itself. Let's do something here. But the fingering on this hand to actually play this is down, hammer, down, and then you've got a hybrid weighting. So you've got hybrid, and then the pick has to come across the hybrid. Hybrid pick. Oops. And that's how you do it. But as you can see, it's a great way to get about the fretboard. So this is the problem hand. So yeah, just that little arpeggio we've got. Let's do that again. So the arpeggio is this, except it's a pentatonic scale. That's what we're doing. And then to get back down it, you would pick it. But what this does is it opens up tons of other really great arpeggios. So like one of them would be, and these are the ones I struggle with. It's the descending. So that's the tricky bit, because we've got 4, and then we're on to the next string with 2 notes. Let's find a track I can use this on. shot. Cup of coffee time, I think. Right, anybody want to know anything? Because we are in the Temple of Shred. Oh, you down? Wish I could jam. Guitar's Floyd is down by one saddle. So anyway, whilst you're all thinking, 2-on-2 stuff is like really important. I mean, obviously I use it in the format of arpeggios all the time. And it's like, it's so easy to have, and it's easy to build a framework. But that's just using like these traditional arpeggio shapes. When you're doing the Tim Miller stuff, you're kind of just modifying these cells. That's what he calls it. So for example, like if I want to do like a little arpeggio thing here, and I don't know what it is, but it fits in like an E minor shape, because that's the key I always like seem to teach in. That basically, that's the tricky bit. It's the 4th finger that's leading. It's caused me problems. So it's a really convenient way to sort of build arpeggios. That's a really good one there. Good one for grabbing attention, isn't it? Yeah, that kind of thing. So anyway, what's everybody up to today? Let's have some more likes, let's have some more subscribers, more of everything, please. That'll be great. What chapter is Lick of the Day from? It's not really from any chapter. It's from the very last Greg Howe solo, and the only concept I've taken is just, I noticed this, which is from a G major 7 arpeggio. So and then I've adapted it to my own thing. Because like the way I work is I'm trying to and it's getting loads better. I'm thinking of like cells all the time, like just little, like tiny little sequences that I put together, like something like that, for example. What bands have I played in the past? Well, I had a band. Well, the first band that had like a little record deal when I was 19 was called DDI, but you'll not find anything on that. But there is an album, and I could play stuff. I'm sure I've got it somewhere. So there's that. And then there's the stuff I did with Sharon, which is Crisis Children, Deadbeat Radicals. So Deadbeat Radicals, really, and Freakstar were the big sort of like things that nearly like took off. And then after that, there was my crazy sound art career. And then after the crazy sound art, which was really good, that really set me up as a kind of working musician. But then after that, I wanted to kind of get back into just the mainstream. And the mainstream took its form of being a dance producer. And that became like massive with me. I released so many songs. My other half had to stop me. It was like an addiction. I remember she came in one day and she went, because you can see basically, if you go on Beatport, you can see all the releases. Well, most of them anyway. And then she was just like, right, okay, how much money have you made of this? And of course the labels don't pay you. And I was like, nothing really. And she was really angry. And then she was just, you're banned from releasing any more music. You have to set your own label up. And she was right. And then just luckily, Thomas kind of came along. And he was, the thing with Thomas is, he was like, all right, because he was really into the dance music I was doing. And then we tried something and it didn't quite work out. It didn't like sit well with me because I didn't know what to do with the music. It didn't seem to sit sort of in the dance genre, and I was so label focused, I thought, and then I wasn't really sure about like releasing it. And then he suggested this genre of synthwave, so I had a bit of listen to synthwave, and I just started making some. And the reason I started making some was because when I was producing dance music, I was doing a lot of tech house. And anybody who knows tech house at the time, because I was getting a very underground sound, was just driving bass lines and drums with like really quirky noises and things that would create a melody. It was really good stuff and interesting to do. But I was wanting something for melody, and that's why I turned to synthwave. So I just started prolifically writing a lot of synthwave. I have more than... I mean, I stopped counting on releases at 100 and... weirdly enough, 122. But there's way more than that, because then I did other projects and all sorts of stuff. I was going down to London and doing sessions in Sony and all sorts. But then you've got like things, so then you've got like all of the McRocklin Hutch stuff, which I'd done, because like, you got to remember I was the producer and synth guy and all that kind of stuff. So all of that programming and writing for the electronic stuff that you hear on all of the McRocklin Hutch stuff's me, and then Thomas does like a few additions to that. But the bulk's really me. And then you've got all of the Dreamstream stuff. So all of the Dreamstream stuff is all of the McRocklin and Hutch like splurges and ideas, and some of them have been like a quick idea that you could make into a full track to jam on. Some of them are actually like completely finished that I don't want to release that. And then that all ended up on the Dreamstream. So the Dreamstream tracks, I mean, not all of them have been released, but I'm sure there's like something like 250. But there's like 411, I think, in total. But there'll be more than that. The figure will be double. So obviously you're getting into a huge amount of stuff. But like, I specialise in this sort of like coaching for teaching people how to create like good quality music, and how to make it in a really small space of time, and psychologically pain-free almost. You can't have all the pain removed, but I certainly point out and show you what is like pointlessly worth crying about and what is. That's the thing, because when we're writing music, it amazes me like how much of our thinking is like unhelpful and unnecessary. But I have a whole course, and there's so I run like a coaching group, and there's like on a Monday and a Thursday. can also have one-to-one coaching as well. Speak about hybrid picking. Yeah, I can say a lot about hybrid picking. Never give up. And this is for any technique. I went into hybrid picking with a stinking attitude of thinking, I'm just using the fingers, it'll be dead easy. Because like I used to play classical guitar. And God, I got my arse kicked. Hybrid picking's really complicated. At least I think it is. It's complicated because you've got to fit it into your playing, okay? You've got to retrofit it, which is quite difficult. And there's a lot of different kind of playing situations and things that you have to do. Not all of them I can remember because it's all sort of in muscle memory. But there's a Brett Garsted book which is like covers everything, yeah? But you have, like for example, I mean one thing, you know, to get going with hybrid picking is crossing strings, right? So you can see this, I'm just playing the D and G. It's the most efficient way to cross strings. And what you need to dial in here is, what I do is I tend to brush the string a bit. Because I want this to sound like the legato. Alright baby, B major, yes, that's a really good sort of investment, like the Brett Garsted thing's great. So yeah, so you can do something like this, like the Paul Gilbert thing, and what you're doing is, you're picking, and you're doing your hybrid pick. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bury the sound of the pick, which is almost near impossible to do, by the way. So you learn to really control your plectrum, and if you listen to Alan Holdsworth, he does it like so beautifully. And then you want the hybrid pick to also blend in. So it's more driven by the legato, so that's one thing. But then the other thing is then having the confidence to start something with the hybrid. And then we have things like where I'm trying to think of examples where the pick and the hybrid are working against each other. So this is an important one. So I'm doing a hybrid, and this is probably from the hybrid book, from the Brett Garsted hybrid picking, but I'm just doing a hybrid on that G on the second string and an upstroke. So I'm going hybrid, up, down. So that's a weird motion to do, but it comes in handy when I'm doing something like that. Those descending runs. Yeah, so like those things are really good. And then there's things like, there's stuff like that where it's like pick, hybrid, pick. So that's kind of preparing you for like this kind of thing, where I'm going pick, hammer, hybrid, and then the pick has to come across. So certain situations when you'll need that if you're doing like more finer sequences. So that's really an important one. I'm trying to think. So it's not just like picking an upstroke. It's not as simple as just, you know, replacing the upstrokes. Another good one is like the Tom Quayle thing, where you're just doing like a mini sweep down, down in a hybrid. Pick, hammer, finger, yeah. But where it gets complicated is when you start mixing it up with hammers from nowhere, legato, economy picking, and all this other stuff, and you're flicking between the things. That's the. See, you can see when I'm on a good day playing, you can probably see there's a lot, like in this hand, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm unaware of most of it. That's the thing. So, but actually the question is how do you become unaware? And the bit of this that I distinctly remember, like the breakthrough moment, because I was getting, so I tried to do hybrid picking, frustrated, just absolute mess, couldn't do it, couldn't get it in, couldn't even get my finger like to work properly on a string. It was just awful, and I thought I can't plough any more time, this gave up. And then I came back to it, maybe it's one or maybe 2, 3 times, and it was, I got the Brett Garsted book and that cleared everything up. I even went to Rick Graham for a couple of lessons, but then he went through a lot of different picking motions, and it was good and it helped a little bit, but then I was just confused. I had nothing to kind of go back and work with. But the Brett Garsted book gave you loads of practical situations of how to use it. But the breakthrough moment was just doing those little exercises that we're talking about, baby B major, and then just saying to myself at work, I'm not allowed. In fact, the story is, I read a Richie Kotzen interview, and he was saying that he forgot his plectrum and he had to just play with his fingers, yeah. And a couple of nights, and he had it kind of, it was all right. He liked it, and he was just going to continue doing that. But it was out of circumstance that it sort of initially happened. So I just said to myself that basically at work I'm not allowed to do upstrokes, and that was it. And I had to force myself. What that did is, like, all of my regular, all of my sort of regular string crosses that I was doing, I had to do with a hybrid. And then I realised, like, just licks like that, like how super accurate and clean you can get things. What about arpeggios in hybrid picking? Right, well, I kind of sort of looked at that, but like what I'll do, a couple of things. The hybrid pick will happen if I'm just going up and down. I'll go pick, hammer, pick, hybrid, hammer, pick, hybrid, hammer, pull off, and then it's all picked. So what you need to do is you've got to really have a lot of control over your pick, because you don't want to be going like really slamming into the notes. It's about just transferring. It's weird, it's like I'm kind of controlling the dynamics of the pick by using what I would call displacement. So displacement is where I'm kind of not attacking at the note but pushing. And really what you're listening for is like lowering the level of the pick so it mixes with the legato. That's the idea. Yeah, smash the like button, why not? I don't know if this answers any of the questions. But I like talking about hybrid picking because it helps me think about it as well. Because you never stop learning. I'm just at the beginning of my hybrid picking journey here. So like other things is you might want to use these two fingers. I don't use my forefinger. Like maybe just do a sequence like that. Which I haven't done for ages, you can hear. And then it's just completely removing the attack by just doing hammers only. Yeah, so that's an important one. So just having to think there what I'm doing. When I'm coming to sort of descending runs, it's all like upstrokes. So the hybrid. It's good to like contrast things, isn't it, from the hybrid and then do a load of picking. That sort of contrast works really well. In the Garsted book, did you play the technical exercises and the accompanying licks where he puts them into context? Some of them I did, yeah. So I did analyse a lot of those things, but I didn't like go, right, I'm going to learn this from start to finish and do it that way. I analysed it and then did my own thing. I think that was the main thing. I'm always focused in sort of in making the improvements on what I've already got. Trying to like build it into my own language that I have, if that makes sense. A bit like what I'm doing sort of with, because I do love books. A bit like what I'm doing with this. So, you go through and you get the idea of the concepts and then you take that concept and then you build it into your own playing. Which I suppose, because I've been playing such a long time, I already have a kind of vocabulary that I can just retrofit different things into. But that lick that I was showing sort of this morning was inspired by this. It wasn't directly like, oh, I'm taking this and now putting a Greg Howe thing. It's like that whole concept I'll take and then apply. It's not art because it's almost, well, the improvisation is art, isn't it? Because there's like an uncertain future when you're playing, and you don't know fully what's going to go on, and you can discover new things. But I can't remember what I was going to say. But I'm not just like reproducing verbatim like what Greg Howe's doing. But the concept that he's got's just like absolutely. I'll tell you what, just using those scales and arpeggios, right? The using 3 notes per string, 2, then 3, has absolutely revolutionised my playing and opened up so many doors. It's been really good, transformative. I mean, it might not sound particularly massively different, but like the vocabulary and what I can do is like is a lot more proficient. Just getting out of that 3 note per string thing, but being able to call on it when you want. That's the thing, like something like that. We're using scales around an arpeggio. And then going into a scale. Or something like that where you've got E minor 7. You go into a C major. That's F sharp flat 5/7. And that'll all sound good, Dorian. So just being able to do that, brilliant for just getting about the fretboard and phrasing, hitting notes that are going to sound good. It just helps your fingers. And gets you out of the pentatonic thing all the time, because obviously the pentatonic thing's great, but then it's like predictable, so I'm always thinking of ways of how to spice it up. And sometimes I don't want to be chromatic all the time. So it like really solves the problem. Do you ever play exotic instrument? Back in the day, when I used to facilitate therapy sessions, yes. I had all kinds of weird drums and all sorts of stuff. And then years ago there was a gamelan workshop that I had. But it was other people doing it. I was just a participant for that one. And the coordinator. But yeah. What I didn't do today was actually open up with McRocklin Hutch, which is what I was meant to do. Somebody has to remind me because I'll just crash into things and just do whatever. Alright, I'll tell you what. Finger was caught between two strings. An unreleased McRocklin and Hutch track. I hope the guitar didn't drown all that out. Were the levels alright? It's hard to tell when I'm in this room now because of I'm listening. No headphones, speakers. Nice, oh, good. Did I check the band out at Panzer Ballet? No, I didn't. I should. Panzer Ballet. Sounds heavy. Feel good stuff, yeah. So, any more hybrid picking? Like, one thing that I always go on about with the hybrid picking is sort of like when you then kind of get the technique to a point where you're sort of happy with it and get about your usual daily business. You then, with me, I then neglected everything else. So then I get things like, you know, technique bias is what I would call it. So then I have to remind myself how to economy pick, you know, those fast kind of Yingmi type runs. Like that kind of stuff, like kind of just goes. So it feels, I mean, that feels awkward. I feel the tension in my hand. Tell you what, we need something to fast pick to, don't we? I'll probably regret this. Oh, it's a ballad. It's not too bad. So that kind of stuff, innit? Cheating. Doing it behind the ticket. that kind of thing, isn't it? And then a dodgy bend. I'd be very disappointed if everybody wasn't watching that. But you can see the problem, can't you? Yeah, like, nice shred, thank you. That fucking tension, sorry to swear, the tension builds up in the sound. See, like, it's better, like, when I do it legato and just add a bit more picking in, because then I've got access to, like, loads of, like, little tiny cells that I can unleash, and it's a lot more articulate. You know, get into that. But it's like, you know, the way you improvise that, though, it's you just kind of playing really fast and following the contour of the melody in your head, is how I would describe it. Like, I can hear a tone that goes when I'm shredding, and then it's just kind of following it. Yeah, so cells is like, seems to be the way to kind of get things going, I think. Right, we've got 13 minutes left. What do we want to talk about? I need to find smash the like button, yeah. Right, I'll knock this track out and then I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. So I've just
I don't wanna do it no more. I don't wanna do it no more. Got me crying.
That's what you would do, isn't it?
There's somebody else's dream.
Alright. Yeah, follow Hutch Instagram. That's a good one. Hey, I'm on TikTok as well, you know. I've been posting stuff up on there. Because the plan is I'm going to dual stream from YouTube to TikTok as well. Yeah. Yes, I've done Twitch. I have Twitch. I did Twitch I monetized that. I did a good 6 months, maybe even a year on there, and then I used to all the time dual stream from here to Twitch, but I stopped kind of doing that because wasn't really getting that many people on Twitch. Okay, I'll have to dig it out. Yeah, but I'll send that to you directly. But the big move for me, and I was talking about this to Thomas, right? The big move is going to be dual streaming on YouTube, right? Now, I did an attempt at dual streaming, as we know, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was an absolute disaster. Not because of something I did, but the way YouTube handles it. So what it was doing is it was making all of my people who are subscribers watching in horizontal, which is fine, but then because it was doing a horizontal feed, it wasn't pushing out the vertical, so only people who are new to the channel could watch the vertical. So because I didn't have that initial bump of people watching in vertical, and it therefore came up as slow on the algorithm, not that many people came in on it, so it was a bit rubbish. I can do dual streaming. I'm just being lazy, Donald. I'll tell you, but I like people to come. I like people to come over on YouTube because YouTube's my main platform. So, Donald, I like having you here. I wouldn't want you to go to Twitch. Having said that, you're right. I could just for the sake of it, just do a Twitch. Go on Twitch as well and see if anybody wants to come over to YouTube. But apparently I hear people have had a lot of success of dual streaming, like YouTube and like TikTok. Anyway, there's been a new Ecamm beta, right, which I do have, and people are testing it. I'm not testing yet, and are reporting some pretty good results, I hear. So I need to do a little bit of research in that. And the dual streaming from Ecamm, simply to YouTube reads it as two separate things. Horizontal and vertical, they're not linked. So technically you have the choice of whether you want to watch horizontal and vertical. And the advantage of that is, like, when you're in vertical, you get the numbers, like more people come in. So that's how I get the subscribers. But I Chili no 1 2 3, how you doing? Play Chet Atkins. No, I can't play Chet Atkins. It's far way above my pay grade. You need to find somebody who can play Chet Atkins. I'll put the word out. But great to have you on here. So yes, and then those of you who want to watch in the horizontal will be able to do that. Now the advantage of that for me is obviously the numbers and the watch time, but also it means I can put my camera the other way around and we can see more of the room again, like here, and then it's easier for me to do the music production stuff because you get to see more of the studio, and it's just a lot better, isn't it? The vertical will be a bit crushed in, but I'm not so bothered. I mean, I could actually set up another camera for that anyway, if it bothers me. It's alright, isn't it, Donald? It's just, a couple of lights. I kind of got the lighting concept. I shouldn't have, like, things like this. Hazardous chemicals in view. That's not health and safety. Yeah, I mean, it was COVID that got me to, like, sort this room out. and actually start streaming, because I was like trapped in the basement for 10 days, bored. But yeah, so it's all just hue lighting, and then we've got some gravity stands, which are great. Makes the guitars look good. No, it's really expensive screen cleaning. Well, you can clean any. It's just what I clean all my electric stuff with. But it's really expensive, Mystify. But things come out like it's like an anti-static sort of cleaner, but it works really well. It's about $20 though. That's like loads for a bulb, but it does last ages. And everything does come out looking really clean, which makes me happy. My W don't work half the time. We need some of those spammers to boot. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they've gone actually. I don't know where they've gone actually. There's been no. I remember when I first started doing this. Can you remember? There's just like every other person was, oh, it's Kurt Cobain, he's alive. And then you get the odd person who'd be just really rude. Just topping up. Alright, so we're coming to it's been a great stream today. I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. Good bit of teaching, which I don't mind on the stream. Even though I like to refer to myself as a music coach. Different thing altogether, as we know. Yeah, great stream for sure. Yeah, very good. Now I've got to go now. Alright, thanks guys, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Alright, bye for now.